I believe. Do we know if they will be cared for by others in the family? The voice on the other end coughed with embarrassment. The woman in the car wasn't his wife, sir. Oh, I see. Well, send his wife condolences and flowers, and make sure we pay for the funeral. Yes, sir. Have we got a replacement lined up? Yes, Major, I have someone in mind. Young, but very keen. I'll sort the necessary paperwork. Make sure you are able to meet him for approval. Good work. Heil Hitler! He replaced the receiver, and the red speck flashed across his vision, a spark to his temper within. Fucking Jews. Why did they have to bleed so copiously? Chapter 1. Heat and Dust. London, the 23rd of July, 1938. Georgie sat with her eyes fixed on the ceiling, tracking the light glinting off the chandelier, and noting several cobwebs that hadn't been dismissed by the cleaning staff prior to this evening's ball. The glory of the London Ritz held fast in its reputation, but in its pockets and corners, the renowned hotel might have been fading just a little. Clearly, dirt and dust soiled even the rich. And yet, the thought made Georgie feel oddly comforted. If this glamorous venue, a place she could have only dreamt about in her childhood, was hiding behind a facade, then there must be others who sported such a veneer. Maybe even a good portion of this well-populated ballroom. It made her feel less of a fraud. She shifted on her bar stool in an effort to bat away the waves of unending heat. The barman caught her eye, and she smiled meekly, trying not to give the impression of being either stood up or lonely, when she was neither. Still, he looked back with sympathy. Others in the room might not have noticed Georgie's awkwardness. The way the strap of her dress cut into her shoulder, lent to her by a cousin who was clearly half a size smaller, or the shoes pinching at each little toe, biting into her flesh as she was forced to endure a dance with the office Lothario and his 2 left feet. She'd managed to excuse herself after one long and painful tune, retreating to the bar, where she now sat nursing a martini. The dance floor was full again, as correspondents mingled with reporters and photographers, watching editors and their wives twirling amid the heady table chatter of wordsmiths putting the world to rights. The summer media ball was where hardened London hacks let their hair down for just one night, and forgot about the simmering rivalry of Fleet Street. Who was first to the story, who bagged an exclusive, and who splashed the biggest headline. For Georgie, it was intoxicating, though not nearly as effective as the very strong cocktail mixed by the barman, who, in his pity, had added a second shot of vodka. The music and the heat were making her head swim, but she was enjoying the spectacle too much to leave. "Sitting this one out?" Georgie swiveled her head in the direction of the voice, her short blonde curls swaying with the sharp movement. For a brief second, she wondered if it was the Lothario come to hound her for a second dance, but the tone was unfamiliar. When her eyes fell on its owner, she noted there was barely a smile to accompany it. She nodded at her feet perched on the bar stool. "I might be willing, but my shoes are working against me." "Oh," he said, and leaned his elbow on the bar, one flick of his finger signalling to the barman. Either her reply had come across as tart, or he was simply making small talk, and Georgie returned to her people-watching. Still, something about him forced a sideways glance. He was tall, lean, and appeared surprisingly cool in his full evening suit. Noting her glimpse, he grasped at his own cocktail and turned to face her. "Are you here as a guest of someone?" He clearly didn't absorb the sharpness of his own tone. Any other woman might have...